You are headed out into Utah's amazing wilderness this summer. There are some important safety tips to keep in mind. I'm here now with Dr. Joseph Bledsoe. He's an emergency physician with Intermountain Medical Center, and I'm sure you see this right now, especially with people who think that they can be adventurous, and you see how they're not prepared for it.
Correct. Yeah. So we see a lot of patients in the emergency department who just don't prepare before they go out into the wilderness. Probably the biggest tip I would say is make a plan. So have an itinerary, let people know where you're going to be.
And when you're going to be back, right?
Right, exactly. And so that way, if you do need to be rescued by Life Flight or one of the search and rescue teams, they can narrow the search and find you much more quickly.
Now, you're holding an emergency first aid kit, right?
Correct.
And you suggest that everybody carries one when they're out?
I do. I think it's a good idea to have a first aid kit, but it's probably more important to know what's in it and know how to use it.
So what is in it, and what do you suggest people have?
So this is my first aid kit. This is something that I bring along. I've got a multi-tool. I think that's useful in lots of situations. In case you get stranded out with the bad weather that we've been having recently, I have a rescue blanket. I also have a flashlight in case I get stuck out overnight.
The rescue blanket keeps you warm, or keeps the...
Keeps you warm, but also can keep you dry.
Keep you dry.
It's essentially plastic, so it can keep you dry, which will help to keep you warm. I carry some bandages. One of the things that I find really helpful is this. It's called Coban. We use this in the emergency department quite a bit. You can use it for regular dressing, but it's stretchy, and so you can create a compression dressing with this.
Oh, that's good. So I remember you get this when you get a shot or draw blood, and then they wrap this around versus
That's exactly
a bandage.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this can really stop the bleeding if you've got a cut by compressing it tightly. So it's a great thing to have in your kit.
So would you say that most of these accidents could be prevented had they thought about it early in advance?
For sure. Yeah, a lot of these accidents could be prevented if you plan ahead, if you think smart. So use common sense. If you're about to summit the peak, but one of these rainstorms is coming in, it's probably a good idea to go down, not up.
Yeah. What types of injuries might you see in the emergency room due to people who are hiking or doing whatever, canoeing, that type of thing? Yeah,
so this time of year, especially when it's hot like it's been, we see a lot of heat injuries. So if somebody in your group is sweating profusely, starts to get dizzy, weak, nauseous, those are all signs of heat exhaustion. And even worse, if they start to get confused or lose consciousness, that's signs of heat stroke. That would be a medical emergency, and they should get care immediately.
That's the thing, when you do go to these national parks, they always remind you to drink plenty of water, bring water with you, and I think people may not be heeding those warnings.
Yeah, I think that's right. You should probably plan to bring and plan to drink more water than you think you need. So.
Where can people find more information?
So there are some classes available on the Intermountain Healthcare website for basic CPR and first aid. But in addition, local places like REI have wilderness survival classes that are helpful.
All right, Dr. Bledsoe, thank you so much. Good advice and good reminder to take pause before you head out.